Look, I didn't intend to end up here. I went to college, I got my degree, I was going to get a job like everyone else, and now I'm making books based on Minecraft role players. I don't know what happened. Hi everyone, I'm Jess, and today's going to be a little bit of a different video. I realize I've somehow gotten 43,000 subscribers on this channel without ever really talking about myself. Normally my videos are, here's a project, please subscribe, and then on with the project, and that's it. So I decided I'm going to talk about myself today, and hopefully people will watch it. I made a community post asking for questions, and I'm so thankful that people actually asked questions. I was really worried when making that post, I'd be like, hey, y'all want to know more about me? And then no one would respond. But luckily people did, and I'm going to be answering a couple of those questions today. The time is also 1:20 when I'm recording this, so let's get started. How old is this? I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Alright, I think a good question to start off with would be, what got you into bookbinding and designing Dream SMP related ones? So I originally got into bookbinding because I took a college class for it, which originally I didn't even know you could take college classes for bookbinding. My degree was in graphic design and we needed some art electives that were outside of those design classes. So that's kind of where I got my start. We learned a lot of basic stuff from Eastern and Western binding, as well as more like artsy books. And it honestly wasn't that hard of a class either. Like these were the first books that I turned in for projects. Like they're really small, simple stuff. So then the final project comes around and the only rules is it has to incorporate one of the stitches that we used in the class and it had to have some form of content in it. And of course me having Dream SMP brain rot, I was like, this is my last semester, screw it. I'm going to get college credit for doing this book on Minecraft Oreo Boy. And that's how I came up with the idea of making the Rambu memory book. And let me tell you, I try-harded this book compared to everyone else in the class. And no, I didn't tell anyone it was from a Minecraft roleplay. I was just like, it's from a web comic, sure. If I'm being completely honest though, most of the stuff I didn't learn from the class. Like most of it I just look up on YouTube. What is your favorite book series? Books? I don't have time for those. I'm reading 100k Sleepy Boy fanfictions instead. Duh. That's sadly very true. Have you ever thought about making your own craft business? I've definitely considered it. Like, I don't think I would ever sell like the Rambo or Carl book. Those would probably take so long to make that they'd be ridiculously expensive to make it worth my time. But little leather notebooks similar to the Ghostper ones, I could see that maybe being a possibility. I like the idea of starting my own shop. It's just a lot to figure out, so we'll see. How did you discover the MCYT Dream SMP fandom, and what got you into it? I knew that my friend were into these Minecrafters that were popular on TikTok, so then one day when I got one of the animatics on my page, I was like, oh, this must be them. It intrigued my interest, and I was looking for something to watch during winter break. I remember I just looked up Dream SMP Tommy. I did find some VOD videos to watch, but still, I was just like, it's not that dramatic of a story. Why are you guys freaking out? I remember my first live stream that I watched was Techno's actually, because I wasn't on Twitch at the time and then randomly Techno's shows up on my suggestion. I'm like, all right. And it was the one where Techno and Tommy break into Lemamberg and then like Dream faces off with them at the portal and Techno defends Tommy. And I'm just like, oh no, I get it now. This is my life now. And now I'm here. What are some other hobbies that you're passionate about? Do I have any other hobbies or passion? Or will your channel be bookbinding or will there be other content as well? Yeah, I totally want to do more content beyond bookbinding. I've already done a couple of cosplay stuff on my channel, so I would like to do a lot more crafting videos, but then I also think it would be cool to incorporate more design stuff as well. Even though I have started this channel about bookbinding and crafting, I still really do enjoy graphic design what I went and studied. So I would like to incorporate more stuff like that, like maybe go over some things about branding or art design, maybe doing design challenges or something like that. I don't know. What is your most favorite video that you've made and your least favorite video that you've made? I would say my favorite video would actually be my con vlog, which is really surprising because at first I wasn't even sure I was going to do that. And especially like because vlog stuff isn't the main thing I want for this channel. So I'm really surprised that that's the one I enjoyed the most. Like not only did the end video I think turned out pretty well, but it was also just really fun for me and my friend to film and meet all the cosplayers at the con. I think my least favorite video would actually be making of the Dream cosplay video, which originally the vlog was supposed to be like an extra little thing for that. And then the vlog did way better than that one. That video, there was so much going on and so many parts to it that by the end, I really just was tired of the video and I just wanted it to be out and over with. Like I just didn't have a good feeling about it when I was posting it, and I think you can see that reflected in the way it performed as well. Like I don't hate it, it just didn't feel right. What is the hardest thing about graphic designing / bookbinding? The hardest thing about bookbinding is that I still don't actually know what I'm doing while making video tutorials on how to do it. It's not a great combination. The thing that's probably most difficult about graphic design and with a lot of creative careers is that you are constantly under pressure to be making stuff, even if you're not in a creative mood. Some days you could be making a page layout and it just all comes together. You see it perfectly in your head and you just make it. And then some days you're doing like 100 logo sketches and none of them are turning out good. But you still have deadlines coming up, so you just have to deal with it. Even if it's not going well, you have to just continue and beat your head against the wall until something good comes out of it. Would you ever consider live streaming your projects while you're working on them? I actually have considered that, if only for the idea of just being able to say the first bookbinding stream on Twitch. Like, I don't think anyone will fact check if I am actually the first one or not. The thing is, when I'm filming these projects, if it's not going right, I can just turn the camera off, figure out what's happening, and then turn it back on like nothing ever happened. Live streaming, I can't do that, and that's scary. Which Dream SMP member / character are you most like? A lot of people ask questions like this. Why does everyone want to know my kin list? I don't know which character I'm like. They're all pretty messed up. Character-wise, let's go with George because I am always tired. And content creator-wise, I think I would be the most like Charlie. He's like the definition of chaotic good. I aspire to bring that chaotic energy just to make my friends laugh. What are some other things that you're into other than Dream SMP? And also, who is your favorite singer and or band? Recently, I've been really into Amphibia and the Owl House, and also I've been watching Kipo on Netflix, which I really like. The whole series is on Netflix. Just go watch it. It's so good. Favorite singer / band? The thing is, I know that Wilbur is going to be my #1 on my Spotify, like no question. But honestly, I'm pretty sure my favorite band right now is AJR, which is ironic because that's like the one band that Wilbur hates. How long does it normally take you to make one book? For instance, the Rambu's memory book. It really does depend on the book itself. Like the hardcover ones definitely take a bit longer. I think the Rambu one took me over a course of like a week to make, and then the Carl one was over the course of 2 to 3 weeks maybe. Meanwhile, the Wilbur one, I could probably knock out in 2 days now. I will say it did take me a lot longer to make them just because recording takes longer. Like every step I have to stop, adjust the camera. Like I can't work on it whenever I want because I have to wait for the lighting and stuff like that. Did you know you are so talented? Yes, I did. Why if I just answered like that? That would be so rude. And who was the person that inspired you to do this? I wouldn't say that there's one person that inspired me to start the channel. Like, obviously the creators in the Dream SMP are a big part of it. But honestly, I've been watching YouTubers since middle school. Like, they're who I watched growing up. Simply Nailogical, Sophia Nygaard, Delightful, Nerdford, Momo O'Brien, June's Kitchen, Kara and Nate. Like, it's a wide variety of creators from doll customization to vloggers. But it's also been interesting with the fact that now that I've started creating my own content, every time I'm experimenting with taking a little bit from each of those creators and fusing them together to make my own style. Are you thinking about going to any more cons? What is your favorite Dream SMP character? Last, what is your favorite Dream SMP project / cosplay that you have done? Alright, I didn't say you could get 3 questions in one, but I'll make an exception for you. I would love to go to more cons, assuming that I can afford to. Cons are expensive, especially if you're doing cosplay. Favorite Dream SMP characters? Probably Technoblade. And I think that my favorite project so far is the Ghostper book. I think the Ghostper one turned out the best because now I've had a little bit more practice with binding. Plus, I absolutely love having all that fan art in there. Like, the other books are mostly just blank because there's not too much content to put in there. So having all that different fan art to flip through just honestly makes it so much better. Is there any advice that you could give me? I've made the Rambu memory book and I've had so much fun. I love bookbinding and making props too. I love crafting, but I feel like I could do better. Is there any tips you could give? I would say the more you do it, the more you're going to get better at it. Like stuff that you learn from one project, even if it seems unrelated, you're going to learn and apply to the next project after that. And constantly be looking and getting inspiration from other people's work, but don't compare yourself to them. The only person you should be comparing yourself is to you. Your goal on every project is to improve from the last one. And as long as you're doing that, you're doing good. Have you ever thought of not doing only dream-inspired videos? And if so, are you afraid of losing subscribers that are only subscribed only for your Dream SMP content? Thanks for bringing up that fear. No, but seriously, definitely in the future, I'm going to be moving away from the Dream SMP. And like right now, I'm not like forcing myself to only stick in the Dream SMP. It's just what I'm interested in right now and what I have like the most idea for projects. And obviously the Dream SMP isn't going to be around forever, or at least as big as it is right now, which is fine. Like I'm not saying it's anytime soon, but that's just the way that things go, and that's fine. But originally doing Dream SMP stuff was a way for me to create my own little niche. I'm not saying I'm going to stop anytime soon, but that's definitely a plan to move on from Dream SMP and create my own individual brands that isn't so reliant upon them. While Dream SMP is the thing that brought a lot of my viewers here, I'm hoping that it's my content and my personality, hopefully, that made them stay. And hopefully they will stay around for more of my original content. Were there ever times you thought of leaving the fandom? Yeah, when it was nonstop goggy twerking on my For You page. Who's your favorite streamer? Right now, Phil is by far my favorite streamer. Mostly to the fact that the man's has a schedule. I actually know when he's going to be streaming. His streams are a good balance of chill and chaotic at the same time that I quite enjoy. And right now, my most prized video is not one that I made, but one of a clip of him laughing at my dono. It is currently labeled as proof that I'm funny. It was a stream where his sub goal was to dress up like a dog for some reason, and then him and Mumsa just start pretending that he's the Bone Days dog.
Not gonna lie, didn't expect a Noodle the Pug roleplay today, but alright.
Same? Honestly, same though? Jesus.
Using pocket.
I paid $7 for him to laugh at that joke, and it genuinely made me so happy. I don't have a parasocial problem. You have a parasocial problem. I mean, if you're in the fandom, yeah, you probably do. What made you start your channel, and have you always wanted to be a YouTuber? The funny thing is, before last year, I really didn't have that strong of a desire to start a YouTube channel. Like, I've always thought about it in the back of my head, but never had like a real push to do it. It wasn't until the end of last year when I had a moment where I was kind of freaking out because I was about to start my last semester of college, and that was like the first time in my life where I was just like, I don't know what the next steps are. It was like a world of possibilities after it, and it kind of freaked me out. Then when I got into the Dream SMP, there's just something that resonated with me with the creators. Not only was the fact that I was like really enjoying their content, but then I also had the realization that most people in the SMP are younger than me. Like I knew that like Tommy and Tubbo were younger, but then I was just like, how is Dream younger than me? How is Schlatt younger than me? Like most of the creators were my age or younger. And then Phil's like, but you know, I just had this sudden panic of like, oh my god, if this was ever something I wanted to do, I need to do it now. Growing up, it's always been like, that's a thing of when I get older. Now I'm older. It's not a thing of when I'm older anymore. It's people my age and younger are doing this. And that idea of being late to the game is really what pushed me to be like, I need to make content. And this caused me to question for the first time what I wanted to do. Like before that, I was totally fine with the idea of just getting my degree and going into the graphic design industry. How did you come up with the name Less Jess? Oh, that's not, you reversed it, but like, I get what you're saying. I went to rhyming.com, typed in Jess, and saw what was there. Jess Mess is already overused, so I went with Jess Less instead. Is making content your career? If not, what is? I don't actually know. After graduation, I had the full intention of just going and finding a full-time job, but then one of my videos actually took off and I was able to get monetized on here. And it was around that time that a company reached out to me and offered to have me on as a freelance designer for a couple of projects. So since graduation, I've just been doing a mix of making content while also having my main support of income come from these freelance things. But right now, I'm actually not doing any more projects with the company anymore. So right now I'm kind of focusing on YouTube and seeing if I can get ad revenue enough to rely on it, as well as create passive income sources as well. What are your long-term goals? Do you see yourself continuing YouTube? Right now, when I think of the future, I love the idea of continuing YouTube, but also I don't think my goal was ever to become a full-time YouTuber. I would also love to continue a career in graphic design, and whether that is freelancing, creating a store where I can sell my designs on shirts or posters, where people can download Twitch overlay assets and stuff like that. I would like to have a balance between content creation community and graphic design. If I got hired by streamers to make branding or graphics, I think that would be like the ideal course, while also still creating videos in the meantime. I would like to try streaming in the future. I have no idea if I would be good at it, but I like the idea of just doing it for fun. Well, it's 3 a.m. now. Thank you guys for watching and listening to me rant about myself. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and also maybe checking out some of my older videos. I hope you guys stick around to see whatever my channel turns out to be, because I don't know what it is. I guess we'll find out together. Bye!